That breaking news. In the last hour, Omaha Police released new details about yesterday's shootout in South Omaha that left 4 officers hurt and the alleged shooter dead. We now know the suspect's name and more about how the confrontation unfolded inside the restroom at that South Omaha gas station.
Our Brenna Kiefner has been a part of the First Alert 6 team coverage since this story broke yesterday. She joins us live now in the studio with the breakdown of this new information. Brenna.
Aaron and Brian, the suspected shooter is identified as 28-year-old Juan Melgar Ayala from El Salvador. Police say he was not a legal U.S. resident and tell us he was a convicted felon with reported mental health issues. Now, this deadly encounter at the South Omaha Quick Trip began hours earlier when police say he randomly opened fire on a 61-year-old, his name Michael Casper, at Phil's Foodway in North Omaha. Police say Casper was simply just picking up milk and eggs when he was shot. And tonight, we know 15 shell casings were found at that scene. Using license plate readers and surveillance footage, detectives tracked Melgar Ayala to the gas station at 32nd and L. Body camera footage shows officers trying to arrest him in the bathroom, and he immediately opened fire. After about 1 minute and 40 seconds of commands in English and Spanish, Melgar Ayala came out, firing again. OPD says officers returned fire, killing him. In total, we're told that the suspect fired at least 16 rounds at officers. 6 officers fired 51 rounds during the 2 exchanges. 3 officers were wounded, those being Sergeant Emilio Luna. He was shot in the foot. Detective Brock Ringo suffered a grazing wound to his leg, and Detective Jordan Brandt was shot in the leg. All of them are expected to recover.
I wasn't really scared. I felt like the police had the situation under control, even though it was chaos there for a second and a couple cops got hit. But it felt like it was over at that point. So I wasn't really scared. I just, a little shaken up, of course, but just walked out and waited for them to clear the scene.
Omaha Police Chief Todd Schmatter says citizens can now take comfort knowing the officers willingly put themselves in harm's way to save lives. Now the investigation into how Melgar Ayala got the handgun is the focus of this case. Live in the studio, Brenna Kiefner, First Alert 6.
Brenna, thanks. We also learned this evening there was a 4th officer who was injured. Remember, we didn't know about the one that was hit by a bullet grazing his leg. We knew about one that had been hit by shrapnel, so actually 4 individual officers were hurt.
Jacqueline Fernandez is joining us now from the Alert Center with more about the 6 officers involved and what will happen next in this investigation. Jacqueline.
Brian, Aaron, clearly a lot of layers to this update from police tonight. So we're going to take a look at all 6 of the officers who were involved on your screen. So we're going to show them. Here they are right there. Now combined, they do have decades of experience. Sergeant Emilia Luna, Detective Brock Rengo, and Detective Jordan Brandt are the officers who were shot, as Brenna mentioned and as we just reviewed. Now, Detective Christopher Brown was the officer hit by shrapnel, that injury to his foot. And then Sergeant Jonathan Holtrop and Detective Kyle Graber. Their years of service ranges from 8 years to 19. Now, again, to reiterate, 4 were injured. They are all expected to be okay. So the good news there. Now, as for what's next in the investigation, like Aaron mentioned, all officers involved are on leave, and this follows department policy, so nothing out of the ordinary. The Douglas County Attorney's Office will be briefed on the case, and once the investigation is complete, the case will then go in front of a grand jury as per state law. Aaron?
Thanks.